Major TV networks overwhelmingly cast ICE in a negative light. Of course they do. They are the propaganda arm of the Democrat Party, the mainstream dinosaur media. The same way they cast ICE in a negative light, they've been casting Trump in that same negative light for years since Trump first went down that golden escalator. They've been casting him in a negative light. I think it was a study that was done on Trump that was in the 90s too. In 90% of the news on Trump in the mainstream media was negative, and I think the same is true for ICE, which is just ridiculous. Which goes to show that the mainstream media again is just another arm of the Democrat Party. They help push propaganda. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to hear this news segment on it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. There you'll find a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get right to the clip. Here we go.
According to a new Media Research Center study, 93% of coverage on CBS, NBC, ABC paints ICE in a bad light, like they're villains, while attacks on ICE agents get buried and the violent rap sheet of the criminals they detain barely get a mention.
Of course, because that's totally antithetical to their propaganda. It's antithetical to the message they're trying to push. They won't show the ICE agents getting attacked. They won't show the murderers and child sex abusers and all these other evil people. They would never show ICE putting them away. Of course not. It's against their propaganda.
And data of who they detain get twisted. This inevitably deceives the masses. The Media Research Center keeps an eye on all of this for you. Justine Brooke Murray is here now with MRC. Justine, good to have you back. Good to see you. According to that recent YouGov poll, public support for ICE is plummeting. Why?
Because the legacy media is lying to you. The Media Research Center counted 121 minutes of reporting within 10 days on ICE. And a majority of that so-called reporting, 93% of it, was all anti-ICE. NBC, ABC, and CBS, just on Friday, they hit the story, they covered up this story where they claimed that a poor, innocent Venezuelan illegal alien was just randomly shot in the leg by an ICE agent. They didn't report the fact that he tried to flee a traffic stop. Then he came back taking a snowplow, a shovel, joining a mob of other aliens to try to beat ICE agents with it. But the legacy...
They don't tell that part. Or think about it. It's lying by omission. So instead of telling the entire story, instead of telling the story of he fled, he came back, he tried to beat up the ICE agents, him and a few other people tried to beat up the ICE agent with the shovel. He feared for his life and shot the guy. They don't say that. They say that, oh, ICE just shot an innocent man. Like, this is crazy. We live in freaking bizarro world. And then you got the lemmings that don't want to do their own research. They just go off of mainstream media and they believe this nonsense. It's crazy.
Media has been doing this for a very long time. We thought that CBS would get a little bit better now that they have new leadership, and they have gotten a lot better. They still have these old types who are career liars who've been there, who probably receive 6 to 7 figure salaries, and they have to push them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I was just taking a look back on some of the lies from the legacy media. The list is too long to list out here, but
so much.
They do have a long history. The legacy media has a long history of lying when it matters, right? From the Russia collusion hoax to Hunter Biden's laptop to President Biden is sharp as a tack. Remember that? Now they're painting.
That was the biggest lie, man. One of the biggest lies. He was sharp as a tack, and this man get on live television and humiliates himself and America. And that's when they were like, oh yeah, well. And then they come out with books and stuff talking about his mental capacity and stuff that we already knew about and called conspiracy theorists and said that we were what was the word they used? Dark. When they said we were manipulating the video. Y'all let me know in the chat what they called it. It slips my mind. Oh, it wasn't a deep fake. They called it something else. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But they just made up terms and stuff to try to cover for a man that we all know was slipping. And it's crazy how much the mainstream media continue to cape for Democrats. We can call them out on it. We do research on it. We can show that 93% of the stuff on ICE is negative, and they don't care about any of that stuff. They're going to continue to push their propaganda.
ICE's villains, just like they did with police in 2020. Remember the mostly peaceful protests as a station burned down in the background? What's behind this apparent deception now with ICE? Barely mentioning the serious and violent crimes of those detained, and instead they claim most don't have serious charges or convictions, despite the head of DHS, Christine, saying 70% actually do, and then glossing over the ICE agent's internal bleeding in Minnesota after Renee Good struck
him. They said he could have just dove out the way like this is some Hollywood movie when she's barreling towards him, and then they were like, and then what's his name, Mayor Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis, was like, well, he just got a little bruise. He just got a little bruise. He kind of like when you open when you get hit by the refrigerator door or something like that. No, the man suffered internal bleeding. They just sit there and they lie to people, and the people continue to believe them. I don't understand, man. Like, why do you continue to listen to people that keep playing and lying right in your face?
With her car, barely a mention, glossed it over, doesn't even matter. No wonder public support for ICE is dwindling. Who is in danger here when the public is deceived like this?
The public is
Americans are. NBC didn't even mention that in that video, the ICE agent was actually hit by Renee Good's car. But what they're trying to do here is they're hoping that there are enough people like Renee Good who will either get themselves killed, reportedly trying to mow down ICE agents, because they want to tell Americans that law enforcement, the people protecting us from the criminals, are actually the criminals and the bad Nazis. They're trying to incite more mobs to go after them. But they're hoping that either more conservatives or more of the left wing's dissidents will either get hurt, they will get killed, or if not, the person who is trying to kill conservatives will get killed in response out of self-defense. So then they can incite more of an army of wannabe vigilantes to come for us next. But of course, the legacy media will never show you the videos that posted on social media by independent outlets, also outlets like OAN, every single day, showing these left-wing mobs, these wannabe Black Panther types, actually marching around with guns looking for ICE.
And the Black Panther dude, the fake Black Panther dude, already been called out. He's Puerto Rican in the first place, not even black. Puerto Rican, said he's the head of the of the Black Panther Party, and he's actually anti-ICE and supporting illegal immigrants and all these things. But the real Black Panther Party, the original Black Panther Party, came out and was like, no, we don't support anti-ICE efforts. We are for defending black people. We don't know who this dude is, what this Puerto Rican dude is talking about. The whole thing is fake. The whole thing is staged. Majority of Americans agree with what's going on in this administration, agree with what's going on with ICE, and want them to continue to clean up the street, no matter what the mainstream media and the leftists are saying. The majority of Americans agree with what's happening right now.
Agents looking to hunt them down and saying that they're going to, quote, shoot them in the chest, because you have the Western media types who, they're Westerners themselves, but they want to represent the worst of the worst. They want to represent the people who are trying to come in here, invade Western society and destroy it, because they're hoping that they can receive some golf class from their fellow elite for being morally superior and somehow.
It's ridiculous. They want us to be Europe. That is plain and simple. This is why Trump went over there and chastised Europe and called them out to their face and told them how terrible Europe is, but they allowed these people to come in their country and take over their country, and Trump is refusing to do that, refusing to allow this to happen to the United States. God bless Trump, man.
Progressive.
You know, thank you for helping keep this deception in the spotlight so people know what's really happening. Justine Brooke-Murray with MRC Media Research Center. Appreciate your time and insight today, as always.
All right, so y'all let me know what y'all think about all this. Leave y'all comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jj.psychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.